and welcome to the Flame and Fiber podcast. My name is Barbara. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Diva S. And we have a Ravelry group, which you can find on the groups tab in Ravelry, called the Flame and Fiber podcast group. I would love it if you would join our group. We have one knit along going on now to knit tiny things. And I'm happy to think about another knit along. I guess it'll probably I'll be thinking about it and probably do something in September, maybe. So anyway, welcome. Thank you so much for all the messages and comments I received since my last podcast, which was only a week ago. I really appreciate it. I really do need to start commenting and messaging podcasters that I watch, because I do know how much they're appreciated, and so I should do it more. But I really, really love hearing from you, so thank you so much to everyone. Last week I totally forgot to even say who I was. That was so bizarre. I'm like editing the podcast, I'm like, I didn't even say my name. So anyway, this is episode 34, and I'm not sure what day it is, but it's Monday. The 11th? The 10th. I think it's the 10th. I think 13th. Thursday's the 13th. Wednesday's the 12th. Tuesday's the 11th. That would make today the 10th. I know Monday's the 13th, or I think I know Monday's the 13th, because that's when I am, the 10th, because my last episode was on the 3rd. Because Thursday is the day I'm going to visit my sister. So I'm going away for a week and a half or so, leaving Dennis in charge of Pearl. And that's why I'm doing a podcast now, because it would be a month, pretty much, otherwise. So I decided to just do one after a week. So I don't know how long this will be. I don't know why I do that. You already know how long it is. I'm the only one that doesn't know how long this is going to be. Everybody else knows already. So anyway, because I haven't done much knitting, but I have some things to talk about, so I'm going to do that. The absolutely only thing I've knit at all, I did not knit a stitch on anything else, has been my Cell Gris sweater. I'm doing my second one. You've seen the first one. I was really happy with it, so I decided to immediately do another one. This is the Cell Gris by Claudia Eisenkalb, and I really liked the one I just finished, and I had gotten, I had already balled up this beautiful yarn, and I don't know if I have the tag. Oh, I do. From Dragonfly Fibers in the Dance Rustic Silk. It's 100% silk noil in the Winter Woods colorway, and I really love this. It has, well, it is called Dance Rustic Silk, and it is like a little bit of a rustic silk, but I'm really happy. I love the way it feels, and I'm really happy with how the sweater is working up. Now, how am I going to show you this? So I am currently, I've done the body, and this is, oops, I'm all tangled up. Podcaster fail. So somewhere here is a stitch marker. Wow. There was a stitch marker on this. What the heck happened to it? Huh. Oh, there it is. There's the stitch marker that shows where I was last week when I podcast. So this is what I've done in a week. And oh my gosh, I thought this body would never end. So, can you tell where I started alternating skeins? I was plugging along. I have 3 skeins of this. I was plugging them along, and I thought, I better start alternating skeins or I'm going to be in big trouble. What a change in the design of this fabric. Isn't that crazy? So apparently, one of the skeins had a lot more of the extra colors than the first one I started with. I thought that was really interesting. And then now I'm currently alternating skeins with that second skein and the third skein. And so this is what the top of the back looks like. So it, you know, so that one skein must have had a lot going on. And so interesting. It doesn't bother me in the least. I think it's fine, but I think, so I got stripes. I'm going to be stripey in the middle. Now, I don't know if you can see this. One thing I did, I have one row of really, really loose stitches right there. Shortly after I started knitting back and forth, I apparently stopped tensioning my yarn. I'm pretty sure that was a purl row. I'm like, holy cow. Maybe I should have gone back and reknit that row. I was a few rows in before I realized it, and I decided not to. And I don't think it's going to bother me. It certainly isn't going to see, and who knows what it's going to look like after it's washed. But anyway, so this is the back of the sweater. I tried it on. It fits me great. And I am currently working on the front left. So the only difference I'm doing on this version of the sweater than I did on the other is that my plan is to have an extra 4 stitches of width on the seam here, because my bra strap shows and the other sweater, and I keep adjusting it, and I thought 4 stitches would be enough wider that I wouldn't be fussing with it all the time. That's the only problem I have with that. And I may figure out how to pin it to my bra strap or get a bra with thinner straps so it's not an issue. Because it is annoying me to always be fussing. I don't want to be fussing with my sweater. So anyway, so I'm thinking about how to fix that on my other sweater, but I'm making this 4 stitches wide. I'm leaving 4 stitches more on the neckline side. So it would be on this side. It's going to be 4 stitches wider. I'm doing the along the armhole the same. But anyway, so I'm really happy with it. This is what the front will look like. So I have the right side left to do. It's on waste yarn. Did a little shaping. And that's not it. That's the armpit. This is, I'm like, why all that shape? Here it is on this side. So this is my left side, and then this will come up. So this is my Cell Gris. I'm really, really tickled with it. I love working with this silk. I mean, it's not, well, you know it's silk, and I tried it on, and it felt real good on. I went down, the other thing I did between this and my previous one is I went down a needle size because I wanted a much thicker fabric so that I didn't have to think twice about. Although Dennis assured me that he couldn't see any reason for me to wear an undershirt with that sweater, and several people told me the same thing, and I really appreciate that. So I'm not worried about that. The only thing on my other sweater is my bra strap showing, which I really don't want to fuss with my sweater. So I'm going to figure out a solution to that, which may just be safety pins. Could be. And solve it for this version. So this is my pretty bag I love from Debbie Reese's Etsy shop. And I don't know what it's called, Debbie Reese Designs or something. I'll link it in the show notes if I remember. And but anyway, it was made by her aunt. Debbie Reese is half of the Periscoping Sisters, Debbie Reese and Amy Meeks. that is the sum total of my knitting this week. I mean, I knit a lot. And I'm hoping it's possible I could finish this sweater before I go to my sister's. But if I don't finish it, I'm going to take it and finish it there for sure, because I'm that close. And I don't even think it's going to need to be blocked, but I could do it at her house, or I could, you know, do it at the condo place we're going to be. So I think I'm going to take it and finish it. So I'll take 2 sweaters. Oh, I'm wearing my Brisk cardigan by Hannah Fedek. And I found this and I put it on. This is, I told you this story about how I started knitting. Is I was making jewelry, and my sister-in-law and I were making jewelry, and she suggested we check out this yarn shop on Long Beach, no, on the Outer Banks. We go there every year in September with Dennis's family. So this is Dennis's sister, Kim. And she suggested we check out this yarn shop in case we found any cool stuff to incorporate into our jewelry making. And so I have a little basket of novelty yarns over there that I've never used. Other than, this was sort of like a prototype. It's very crude. It's just this stringly yarn. And I've just passed it through one of my hollow beads, but this bead is like a glass bubble. It's hollow, so it's not too heavy. And I just, passed it through, but I just thought, oh, that matches very well. I never wear this necklace. It's not my best work. But anyway, it goes very nicely with my Brisk cardigan by Hannah Fedek. And this is made out of Shibui linen in the color Poppy. And you can go to my past podcasts and see all about it. And I have a project page. I don't know if I have a good picture of myself wearing it, but I don't put very much in my project page. I am not a good Raveler. I'm not one of these people who puts all kinds of details in, so anyway. So this is my knitting, but it is Tour de Fleece time. And I'm using Tour de Fleece as an excuse to get back to spinning, because I haven't done very much spinning, although I did do my hand-carded stuff a couple of weeks ago, which I showed you. But I have a closet. This closet here is completely full of fiber. And I would typically do my spinning in my living room, but with Pearl, our new puppy, I had to move my spinning wheel out of the public space. So it's actually right behind me. So my spinning is up here by myself, which is kind of a respite from dealing with Pearl. You're in charge, sweetie. I got to go do my Tour de Fleece. I was a little disappointed because I really, this is my 3rd Tour de Fleece. And the first time I did it was right after I learned how to spin. I learned on a drop spindle 2 years ago in May. And so that first July, I was spinning on a drop spindle and I was doing Tour de Fleece. And so I decided, what the heck, let me watch Tour de France while I was spinning, sitting there spinning with my drop spindle. And I got hooked on the Tour de France. I really enjoy the races. And so I was spinning the whole time I was watching the Tour de France, and it was really kind of fun. And I did the same thing last year. But since last year, we've kind of changed our TV thing, and we've got, I only have super basic cable, and now I got Netflix and Amazon Prime and things like that. So I don't, turns out I don't have any Tour de France on my TV. But I thought that wasn't going to be a problem, because I found on day 1, I found a guy who was streaming the whole race, and so I watched it. So that was fun, and I was pretty encouraged. So I thought this wasn't going to be a problem. Day 2, that guy was shut down. I mean, well, he hadn't been very smart about it. He was streaming it live, like with Camtasia or something. I'm not sure what software he was using, but at one point he got kicked out of whatever pay thing. He probably had some kind of pay thing. And he logged back in, and you could see him log back in. And I'm sure the people who were trying to get, were mad at him for doing that could see what his account number was. So it would be really easy. So anyway, he was only there for day one. Then he was gone. No videos under his channel anymore on YouTube. I don't know how many he had originally. It may have been just a throwaway account to try to do that. But anyway, I have found some short, some really short ones from the Tour de France and official website, and some guys. And I've been able to find clips of the last 50 kilometers or so. And one time I found it, but it didn't have any announcers. And I don't know it well enough to watch it without announcers. So anyway, I'm getting bits and pieces of the Tour de France. But I have been spinning. So this is what I got for the first week of the Tour de France. I got 8 ounces or 200 grams. I guess I haven't actually weighed it. It ended up being 800 yards. So I really did get, I was going to bring my control card over and check. I think I got a fingering weight, maybe a heavy fingering weight on this. Anyway, I got 800 yards. It might be a sport or heavy fingering. And the fiber is from Frabjous Fibers. Frabjous Fibers in the Silky Cashmerino base, which is 70% superfine merino, 15% cashmere, and 15% mulberry silk. And it's in the Oxblood colorway. This was from my Fiberista club. I was a member of the Fiberista club, which gives beautiful fiber, really beautiful fiber. And you get 2 braids of it. So anyway, I ended up with this beautiful, that's a close color. It's maybe a little darker than that. It may be coming up a little bit bright, but it is a lovely soft yarn. I'm really happy with it. It's hand spun, and I'm a newish spinner, so, but I'm pretty happy with it, I have to say. It's a 2-ply. And I'm having delusions of grandeur. I'm afraid. I'm thinking that if I can do, right now, I'll put a picture of it. My next thing is a undyed Targhee fiber that I got from BZB Fibers. And I'm wondering if between the 2 of them I'll have enough to make a breathing space sweater by, the breathing space sweater by Vera Velimaki. It's in the Interpretations book. I think it's Interpretations 3. It's a beautiful sweater. It's a little asymmetrical design with stripes. Now, this, in theory, would be the main color, but I only have 800 yards of it, so I might have to add a few more stripes of the cream places because there won't be quite enough of this, I don't think. But can I really knit a hand-spun sweater? That I spun the yarn? I don't know. But and I don't even know, does Targhee even go with Cashmerino? Maybe I should just, I'm also thinking about maybe getting a commercially spun yarn that would go well with this, and maybe that would, I don't know. I don't know why I'm doubting myself. I can do it. I can do it. Anyway, this is a beautiful yarn, and I'm really happy with it. So that's my Tour de Fleece yarn, and then the second one I just started, the Targhee. And that's fun to spin as well. But I leave on Thursday for my sisters, and my original goal for Tour de Fleece was to try to spin every day. But I'm going to be gone for 10 days. 11 days of the Tour de France, which means I'm gone for 10 days of the Tour de Fleece. And I had been thinking that I would take my drop spindles and maybe even take one for my sister in case she wanted to try it. She used to be a fiber artist. Now she's a glass artist. And I may still do that, but I don't feel any continued compulsion to spin every day when I'm away with my sister. We're going to be in 9 to 5 in classes, and but I think I'll take it just in case I get ambitious. I think part of the problem was I looked through my fiber and I tried to figure out what fiber am I going to bring, and it just, nothing jumped out at me, and it didn't feel urgent, nothing, I don't know. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that necessarily anymore. I actually joined, I don't even know if this is kosher, I ended up joining 2 different teams for Tour de Fleece. One of them was the spinning box team, a woman that I know over the internet, knitting internet friend who actually, if you watched my Rhinebeck episode back in October, I told you about this lovely group of women that I ate dinner next to on Friday night. She was one of those women, and I've kept in touch with a couple of these women. They're lovely, lovely women. And anyway, she invited me to this team, and I thought, what the heck, I might as well do it. Well, it turns out that that group is really doing a series of 24 challenges. Every day is a new challenge, and spin, draft with your other hand, spin with your eyes closed. And I haven't really read what the other ones were, but that isn't what I was looking for the Tour de Fleece. Just being able to spin was my goal. And so that ended up not really grabbing me. So, I'm not really part of that team. I mean, I'm not posting anything there, and, so they're not missing me. But I am considering myself a member of the Team Mom. Sharon of the Moms with Yarn podcast is doing, and this is not an official team. This is just, casual, spin along with me kind of Tour de Fleece just in her group. Although she does, she has some prizes. If you're a spinner, you should go over there because it's just a fun group and people are posting. So I have to take a picture of my Frabjous and post it because I haven't done that yet. But I've been posting on the, tagging her on Instagram, Team Mom 2017. Although there may be a lot. I don't think that was an empty hashtag. I think there were Team Mom is not. Anyway, I'm posting there. And so I really consider myself a member of Team Moms with Yarn. And so I'm doing that. So I guess I'll ask you spinners out there, is it kosher to be in more than one Tour de Fleece spinning team? I mean, it's, is it the same as like most knit-alongs where double dipping is fine? I don't even know. But I'm not really a member of the spinning box team, so I don't feel bad about it because, they turned out not to be for me. I want something a little more casual. Sorry about the glary glasses. I left my other glasses downstairs. Sorry. So anyway, Tour de Fleece. So I have a finished yarn. I'm so happy with it, and it's so soft. Oh my gosh, I'm so... I had oversupplied that hand-carded yarn from a couple of podcasts ago, but this turned out really nice and soft, and I think it's going to be okay. It'll be fun. And because there were, it comes with 8 ounces. It came with 8 ounces, so I have quite a bit of it. The Targhee is also 8 ounces. So I'll, by the time I'm done with that, I should have, 1,600 yards. I should be able to figure it out. I won't be able to do it exactly like the pattern because the pattern, I think, uses 1,000 yards of the main color, and I'm not. Well, I'll see how much of the Targhee I have. Maybe the Targhee's the main color. It could work. Whatever. I'm sure I can come up with a plan to use those yarns. And the breathing space has been on my list. But the next thing I have to do when I get back from my sister's is, the next thing I'm knitting for myself is I've got to finish my Monte Rosa sweater, because that's my Rhinebeck sweater. And, you know, Rhinebeck is only 3 months away. It's crazy. It's already the middle of July. So I need to be working on that. But my next things that I am going to be working on are birthday sweaters for my granddaughters. And I will talk about that in a minute, because now we're getting into goodies. And I have a couple of goodies. I got my Yarn Box July Socks yarn. And this is from Flying Goat Farm. I don't know how to hold that so it's not glary. Flying Goat Farm. And this color is red flannel. So it's like the black and red checks of flannel. And I think these are going to end up to be really cute socks. I'm not sure I would have bought this color, but I think they're going to be wonderful socks. And the they don't tell. It's Corey sock. I need to go out on their website, I guess, because it doesn't say percentage of superwash. It just says superwash wool and nylon. Oh, 75% superwash Corriedale wool and 25% nylon. So not my favorite percentage of nylon, but Corriedale, I don't think I've ever knit with Corriedale, so that'll be fun. So we'll see, you know, if it's warmer, then maybe I'll be happy with 75%. But anyway, definitely socks. Definitely socks. So this is from Yarn Box Socks. And I didn't look at the sock pattern that you get with that. But those are nice socks. I might check that out and see how complicated that pattern looks, because you know me, I want a simple pattern. But anyway, so that was my Yarn Box Socks that came, and my row one minis came, and I'm not sure all the minis are here. When I was carrying things upstairs, this dropped out of my box, and well, Pearl thought this was the best thing since sliced bread. So oops, dropped another one. So now I'm running around grabbing minis off the floor. So they're a little damp. But anyway, so this is row one. And row one is a subscription service. $35. And you get 5 gram minis of all different colors from a yarn producer, and the one today is Black Trillium Fibers. So these are all Black Trillium Fibers, and they're all going on the floor. So these are pretty. And I've heard of Black Trillium Fibers, and I haven't tried it before. This is the Pebble Sock, and I guess I'm going to have to go on their website to see, you know, what percentage it is. But these are beautiful, and it feels really yummy, and it's a high twist sock yarn. So these might be fun as some Franken socks. And anyway, Black Trillium, and then she gives you all the different colorways. So that's fun. And I love to get things in the mail, and I love to get surprises, but I do have to say that I did cancel my row one. If I were doing, if I thought that I was going to go back to working on my mitered square blanket, I might keep doing it for a few more months, because I like the idea of it. I like the, but I have now 60 little 5 gram, because this is my 3rd month, and it feels like enough. So it's a good idea, and if you have a use for 5 gram minis, I recommend it, because it's really fun to get the yarn. There's so many different colors, And you get to really, but the thing is that it's all one base. So, from each fiber company. So, oops, the string just came out of the bag. So whether or not that's a good thing for you, little bag that says row 1, high quality yarns. And they are. But, so anyway, one thing about their website is couldn't find a way to unsubscribe. So I sent her a message and I haven't heard back from her. So I'm hoping I'm unsubscribed. If I'm not, I will try again and I will let you know the outcome of that. So those are my goodies that I got in the mail. So as I said, oh, rats, I got patterns too. Oh, I'll show you those next time. So as I said, my next knitting is going to be sweaters for my granddaughters. My granddaughter Isabel and I have been in conversation about her sweater. She will be 4 at the end of August, and her sister Samantha will be 1 in the middle of August. So I have these 2 birthdays, 2 weeks apart exactly. And so Isabel thought I should make her sweater for her birthday, which was great for me because I was going to make the sweater anyway. So I'm going to do that. And her new favorite color is light blue. When I made her last sweater, she was still under the thrall of red. So her last sweater was red. But soon after I made that red sweater, I found out that maybe she's thinking light blue is her favorite color. And so she's been very adamant that now light blue is her favorite color. And so she would like a light blue sweater. And we discussed it. And she had a sweater that she loved last year. She got it from, a hand-me-down bag from a friend. And it was, they called it her old man sweater. And it was like a grandpa sweater. Actually, it was just a plain cardigan. I think it looked like it was maybe seed stitch or something. Just a little bit of a textured stitch on the front. And it zipped. She could zip it herself. And she loved that sweater. Now, it was an acrylic, so her mother could wash it and dry it. So her mother probably liked that sweater a lot, too. But this one is not going to be acrylic. But, so she decided that she wants a sweater with a zipper. I've never done a sweater with a zipper, so I'm practicing on a little sweater. But I'm very interested in a sweater with a zipper, too. So I'm glad to practice on Isabel's sweater. So I asked her if Sammy's sweater should have a zipper too. She said, oh no, zippers are for big girls. Babies need buttons. So Sammy's sweater will not have a zipper. Sammy's sweater will have buttons. Sammy will be 1. So my vacation knitting, because I'm going to need these sweaters on August 19th. So I need both of them to be done by then. Because they're going to have a joint birthday party as long as they can, I guess. So I will be working on sweaters. Now, Isabel and I talked about it, and a couple weeks ago, our plan was we were going to go find a nice playground and play in the playground, and then we were going to go out to lunch, and then we were going to go to a yarn shop. Well, things didn't work out exactly how we had planned. We went to lunch first, and then we went to the playground. And then we just missed the ice cream truck. And so we were kind of thinking about trying to find the ice cream truck, but it was time to go to the yarn shop, and Isabel decided she didn't really want to go. I didn't blame her. We were trying to find the ice cream truck, which we did not find. But anyway, so that plan ended up, she did not come and help me pick out the yarn after all. And I said, well, should Nana just pick the yarn? And she said yes. So I had originally thought we would go up to Getting to Know You, which is a lovely yarn shop in Newtown, Pennsylvania. And that is where I had gotten the red yarn for her Birdie Mini Cardi that I made. You can find that in previous podcasts because I made it last fall. And it's a really nice sweater. They have a sweater yarn that's wool and whatever, probably some acrylic in it, and you can wash it and you can actually put it in the dryer. So I thought I'll go look and hope they have a light blue color. I mean, it's not like they, you know, I mean, this was really the only yarn I was thinking of in this shop, although I might have been able to find something else. So I originally thought, well, let me go online and see if I can find this yarn. And then I thought, wait a minute. I happen to know a yarn dyer. So I messaged Jake from Dog Star Knits and said, Jake, hey, I'm looking for some sky blue, light blue yarn and for Isabel's sweater. And Isabel decided that Sammy wanted a purple sweater. So I needed purple and light blue. So he was on vacation and, you know, whatever. But he said, sure, he would be happy to make Isabel's yarn. And so yesterday, he texted me, Saturday, he messaged me a picture. How does this look? And it was absolutely perfect. And I said, oh, he and Ray are only about an hour from my house. So I said, you know, can I take you guys out to lunch tomorrow and pick up my yarn? And he messaged back and said, hey, we are going to be in King of Prussia, which is really halfway between our houses, doing some shopping. Let's meet for lunch. And so we did that. And Dennis came with me. So the four of us had lunch together. They are so lovely. I'll put a picture here of them. Aren't they cute? They're so cute. And we had a lovely, lovely lunch, and we have a lot in common, and we had such a good time, and Dennis had a great time, and, he's a little skeptical about spending a lot of time with yarn people, but we had a wonderful time, and we have a lot in common. So that was so much fun. And he brought me some gorgeous yarns. So here, without further ado, here is Isabel's light blue. And he called it Blue Skies. Isn't this gorgeous? Isabel is going to be over the moon. So I got it in the worsted. Oh, and I need some help. I got 3 for her because when I was looking at patterns, it looked like size 4. She's going to need a size 4 sweater. And this has 218 yards. And 440 yards wasn't going to be enough. So I got 3 for her. Isn't this beautiful? Oh. I am so thrilled with it. Isabel's going to be over the moon. She is going to love this. So anyway, if anybody knows of a good sweater pattern, kid sweater pattern with a zipper, I would be very interested in hearing about it. So then when I ordered the purple, I just said purple, and he listed like, well, are you thinking of, eggplant or dirty? He listed all these things, including amethyst, and I picked amethyst. Isn't this beautiful? So Sammy's only 1, although she's chubby. She's a little chubby thing, but I think I can get her a sweater with just 2 of them. Although he did say he did a 3rd one just in case, so maybe I should just be safe and ask for that one too. I didn't even think about that. Because who wouldn't want this anyway? Oh, and I've been thinking of this is I haven't done the ends. This is my Adama cow that I made with his yarn. Those 2 go together beautifully. So I'm going to ask him for the 3rd, to send me the 3rd skein, just because I want it anyway. I was going to future knitting. But I have enough of the Adama left, and if I make Sammy, then I'll be safe. And oh, isn't this beautiful? Isn't this gorgeous? Oh, and he calls it sangria. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So I am so thrilled. So I will be gaining up all this yarn and finding patterns and taking this yarn with me to my sister's, because I've got to start working on those sweaters. And oh, those are beautiful. And I also, while he was at it, said, oh, and I want 2 skeins of I'd rather be in Bermuda. No, I'd rather be in the Bahamas. So this is the BFL nylon sock. That's the same as the Flame and Fiber, which I have 1 more skein of already, but I didn't get any of this for me. So one of these is for me, because I love that BFL nylon base. It may be my favorite sock base. One of these is for me, and one of them I'm going to make Allison pair of socks. And then with the leftovers between the 2 socks, I'm going to make socks for Sammy and Isabel too. So Allison, my daughter-in-law, and her 2 girls are all going to have matching socks. And then I'll have a pair of matching socks too. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I think I'm going to ask Jake for that 3rd skein. Since he said he made one anyway. And then, oh my gosh. Future knitting. But first I have to make these sweaters because I am going to need these sweaters for August 19th. So if you have any suggestions for a children's sweater that has a zipper that goes to size 4, I'm going to want to make her a size 4-6. So if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them, and thank you in advance. That will be fun. My plan, you know, so I'm going to be taking that knitting to my sister's, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember if I told you very much about this trip, but I'm going by myself. I'm going to be gone for about 10 days, and my sister is a fused glass artist. And that's called warm glass. I do hot glass, which is the beads. You know, I do a torch, and these are my beads too. My earrings. So I'm a lamp worker. That's what the flame is. I guess I haven't talked about that in a while. So the flame, for those of you who are new, the flame in Flame and Fibers, I'm also a lamp worker. I haven't been doing too much lamp working as of late, but it is, so basically I melt glass on a torch, and I make it into beads or whatever. But I've been making little flower stitch markers, and they've been fun. So that's what the flame is. So I'm a lamp worker, and my sister is an artist, and she was an art teacher for a while, and she has been, she started as a fiber artist and did, you know, weaving and that kind of thing. In fact, the wheel I have was hers. She gave it to me. And now, and she's a ceramic artist. She still does ceramics, and so she has a beautiful studio at her house, and it's a combination ceramic studio and glass, and she does fused glass. So she lives in the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas in California, and in around Lake Tahoe, there's a little college called the Sierra Nevada College in Incline Village, Nevada, and which is just around the lake. And they do some wonderful art classes in the summertime. And so, you know, it's sort of a sisters getaway together. She and I are going to take a advanced fused glass class. So this is her technique, not mine. They don't do lamp working, and Christy doesn't do that at all. I've done a little tiny bit of fused glass when I've been visiting her before. So anyway, she has 2 days to get me up to speed, because this class we're taking is an advanced class. You know, I don't want to completely embarrass myself, but, you know, what I do, I do. What I don't, I don't. I don't have really access to kilns and the kind of equipment I would need to actually do this. So this is just for fun and just sister bonding time, and, you know, but I do want to be able to execute some pieces while I'm doing this class. So I need practice, basically cutting the glass and how you set it up before it's fused and that kind of stuff. So she's got 2 days to bring me up to speed before we go off to Lake Tahoe to this 1 week class. So it should be fun. And then we'll, you know, have our sister bonding time, which we'll leave, you know, it's a 9 to 5 class for 5 days. But, you know, we're going to be at a kind of a hotel room. It's our timeshare in Lake Tahoe. We have a timeshare at the foot of Heavenly Ski Resort, because we used to ski. And so that's where we're going to stay. And so there'll be plenty of time to knit. So I'll get some work done on these sweaters. Plus, you know, I'm flying. I'm taking a red eye home, so I don't know how much I'll be knitting on that. We'll see. But anyway, so that's my trip, and that's why I'm doing this a little early, because of the timing of everything. it'll be another 2 weeks before I am going to be able to do a podcast. So I thought rather than make it too long, I would do this little interim one. So anyway, that's my news, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who participated in the 300 subscriber celebration giveaway, and I have heard from the winner. And Diane, I am so sorry that yours has taken me so long to send. Diane was the winner of the Knit Tiny Things giveaway that I pulled at the same time. She contacted me right away. But I haven't sent your package, but I will send these packages out before I go away on my trip. I promise. I promise. And I'll message you on both on Ravelry so you know that they've gone. But anyway, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. And I didn't make notes. So maybe I will. Oh, I forgot what I wanted to tell you about my third skein is this tiny little skein. It's only 50 yards, and you know how it is when you're spinning. And I used 2 different braids, but I didn't weigh them, and I don't know if one was heavier than the other or what the story was. But I ended up, I'm 2-plying with one of my bobbins empty and the other one not empty. So I made myself an Andean plying bracelet, and I plied this off an Andean plying bracelet because because my yarn is a 2-ply yarn, and that's what you do. That's what an Andean plying bracelet will help you do. And I was so tickled with it. So this was a new technique for me, and it worked out great. And I have a tendency to just, when I ply, when a one runs out and there's extra, they're still on my bobbins. So I think I'm going to be making a few Andean plying bracelets and just making, because not everything, I don't want everything to be a 3-ply and do a chain ply. So anyway, I did want to mention that. I made an Andean plying bracelet. I was real tickled with that. Let's see. The other thing I'm interested in is Brooklyn Knit Folks. Jacqueline of Brooklyn Knit Folks is starting a hipster cowl, and this cowl knit along is sort of to combat the one of the things that happens among podcasters, and you as podcast watchers know this too, is everybody ends up knitting kind of the same thing, or we get hooked on designers we like. I love Isabel Kramer's sweaters and Hannah Fettig and these guys, and we see things that podcasters are knitting, and so they look gorgeous and we want to make them, and it's natural to do that, and it's one of the reasons we watch podcasts, to get ideas. But as a podcaster, I feel like a little bit of a part of my job is to well, it's not my job, but one of the things I want to do is discover new designs and new designers even. And apparently Jacqueline of the Brooklyn Knit Folk was feeling a little bit the same way, because she's going to have the hipster cowl. And basically the rule for the hipster cowl is when you start knitting this, there can't be more than 30 projects made out of the pattern. So this is not, there's no Stephen West going to be in this, knit along. You're not going to find any Hohies in this knit along. You're going to find either brand new patterns that nobody knows about, or you're going to find even brand new designers that might be a nice find for you. So anyway, I'm thinking about joining this, and so when I'm looking for, I may not, probably won't do it for the children's sweaters, because I need to knit those and I need to know what they're going to look like and that they're going to be great. But maybe next time I'm doing a hat. Now I have knit a hat that only had 2 or 3 people had knit that hat. And in fact, when I was done with it, she asked if she could put it on her as one of the hats on her project, which I was very flattered. So anyway, so it's probably going to be hats is my guess, because otherwise I'm not sure what else I'm going to be knitting. Maybe if I can find cows that I like, or shawls. But I'm a little nervous to knit a sweater that not a lot of people have knit. Not because, just because I want to see how it looks on people and, you know, kind of thing. But anyway, so the hipster cowl is something that's interesting to me. And so I'm going to be keeping my eye out for something I want to knit. But I'm not going to just knit anything just because it will qualify for this knit along. But I will be keeping my eye out because I like the concept. And I am interested in introducing, you know, finding new things that I've never heard of and I haven't seen on other podcasts. So I'm going to be very open to that concept. So, anyway, I forgot to mention, I asked Jake, you know, what I could say about, because he did this as a custom order for me. And I asked him what I could say about custom orders from him. And he said, well, he does custom orders and he, you know, is happy to get custom orders, but the lead time is going to be quite a while, he thought, because of the way things were going with him. So I just want to let you know that he is open to custom orders. He is doing a trunk show not too far from here. I'm so sad that I'm going to be at my sister's during his trunk show, so I'll miss it. I would love to go and just see all his colors in person. But after the trunk show, he is planning to have a shop update. So at the end of this month, there will be a Dogstar Knits shop update. So you can keep an eye open for that. And I guess I need to message him right away before he takes that third skein to his trunk show. I changed my mind. I want it. Anyway, so I just wanted to let you know that he hasn't added a lot to his shop lately. But there will be a shop update at the end of the month. I'm so happy with this color. Oh, Isabel's going to be in love. She is going to be so excited. So, and if you have any, you know, ideas about a size 4 to 6 sweater with a zipper for a little girl, I'm all ears. Oh, worsted weight. Because I bought the yarn already. All right. Anyway, I'm done. So I will see you in a few weeks, and thank you again for all your messages, and thank you for subscribing. I celebrate every new subscription, and I really appreciate all the lovely feedback. So I hope you have lots and lots of time to do the crafting that brings you joy, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.